It's official. AEW is moving stations. Starting in 2022, AEW is going to be moving its show Dynamite and another show, Rampage, over to TBS, the Superstation. Do they still call it that? I don't know. Check out this clip with AEW President and big, huge nerd Tony Khan talking about the big move. Check this out.
All right, breaking news here on Busted Open. We have president and owner Tony Khan with us of AEW, and he has some breaking news for the Busted Open Nation.
So I have renegotiated our contract with TNT and TBS, and we have made a great agreement, and I'm very excited about it. In 2022, first of all, we're launching a third hour of wrestling that I've talked about a lot. It'll be Friday nights at 10 p.m. It will be in addition to Dynamite on Wednesdays, 8 to 10. So we're launching a show called Rampage. I'm really excited about it, and I wanted to do it for a long time, and it was part of our original extension over a year ago. So we're doing another show Friday nights, 10 p.m. called Rampage, and we'll continue doing Dynamite Wednesdays, 8 to 10. So very excited about Rampage at 10 on Friday nights. And actually, in 2022, we will be moving to TBS with both shows in 2022. Dynamite and Rampage in 2022 will go to TBS. But we will not be leaving TNT because we're adding another great thing for the wrestling fans, quarterly. And I'm not sure which night they'll be on, but, in the past, there have been great supercard specials for wrestling fans like Clash of the Champions or Saturday night's main event, the Battle of the Belts. We're going to have our own supercard series, and we're going to have quarterly supercards still on TNT, which was another part of this great deal that we worked out with Warner Media. So it's huge news with another show coming to Friday nights, 10 p.m. And both shows will be finding a great home on TBS.
This is really good news for AEW. I've been on here before talking about how I do worry that when dues come up and it's time to renew and talk business, that because the buddy that Tony Khan had in TNT no longer is in that position to where they can just do their little buddy deal, that, I worry that AEW could lose their TV spot, because if they lose their TV spot, they lose everything. Look at Impact. Impact at one time was the number 2 company in the United States. It was the number 2 company in the world, possibly. It had national TV clearance. Spike TV was all over the place. Same station that Monday Night Raw was on at one point. And look how far they've dropped. Changing TV stations, changing time slots, changing days of the week, changing ownership, changing their name, blah, 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 blah. But this is a really good move for AEW. I see a lot of people online hating, as haters will do, and there's certainly a lot of AEW haters. So naturally, they're going to look at any little thing they read and go, ha ha. Like Nelson, from The Simpsons. Nelson, the bully guy from... Anyway. But this is not a bad thing. I don't even know where you're getting that from, because on all levels, this is a good thing. So, unless you're just looking at it from the perspective of TNT doesn't want them on their network anymore, or like it's a demotion or something to that effect, just changing stations, you look at that as a bad thing, then, to each his own. But in actuality, TNT doesn't have as many viewers, or doesn't have as much, it's not in as many homes as TBS is. TBS has the potential to reach more people than TNT does. Now, certainly TNT, I would say, is perceived as maybe the bigger station, even though it's not really, or the more elite station, no pun intended, due to, the basketball deals and now the NHL coming in. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago with the NHL, the big news hit with the NHL deal. And that's where I voiced my concern, are they going to get bumped or whatever? They're not getting bumped. They're getting moved over to TBS. Instead of hockey being on TBS, AEW will be on TBS. Now they're not going to get bumped for sports. They're not going to get bumped for basketball. They're not going to get bumped for hockey when that comes on to Turner Networks. They're going to be able to just live and exist on Wednesday nights at their time slot of 8 o'clock and just thrive. Not only that, they're getting another show. This was already built into their previous deal. Tony Khan actually mentioned in this interview that Turner brought up the idea of doing Dynamite as a 3-hour show. And Tony Khan was very against that. He was adamant that it needed to be, if we're going to do another hour, that it needs to be its own separate hour, which to me can be taken as good or bad. Obviously, none of us want to watch a 3-hour Dynamite. We just don't. A 3-hour show is too much. I used to like the specials. Raw used to, before they went to 3 hours full-time, they would do these 3-hour specials from time to time. They would do, Legends Night or whatever it was called would be a 3-hour special. Or, SmackDown's on the roster tonight too, so it's a super show, a 3-hour super show. Every once in a while, those were fun, so I didn't mind that. But a 3-hour show every single week is just too goddamn much. 2 hours flies by. 3 hours is death. So 2-hour Dynamite, 1 hour Rampage. Rampage is not going to be a B-level show. It's not going to be Dark. It's not going to be Dark Junior, not Dark Elevation, not Dark the Third. It will exist as its own main brand content. I'll watch it, probably not live. Friday night's a hard time to get live viewership. They're going to be on after SmackDown, so they're not competing with SmackDown. SmackDown will actually lead in to AEW. Of course, not on the same channel, but hey, you're already sitting down watching wrestling for 2 hours. Flip the channel, you get another hour with AEW. So a lot of fans will appreciate that, except for the AEW haters, of course. Plus, they're still on TNT. They're going to do the quarterly specials now, similar to Clash of Champions or Saturday night's main event, or the specials that they do now. Winter is Coming, Beach Break, Blood and Guts. All of those are what we would consider specials. Tony Khan's talked about we only do 4 pay-per-views a year. We only want to do 4 pay-per-views a year. The rest of it is got to go to TV. We want to make the TV product special too. So we're going to do special events on TV. Now it seems like they're already built into the format. So it's not really going to be anything new. It's just going to be in addition to. We'll still get a Dynamite that week. We'll just get a bonus special as well. And those are going to stay on TNT. So we're going to get them on TNT. We're going to get another hour on Friday night. All of this is more money for AEW. That quarterly special was not built into their previous agreement. So because they had to move stations, remember Tony Khan said, we covered this a couple weeks ago, he had said when the NHL was picked up by Turner or Time Warner or whatever you want to call the company, there was speculation, how's this going to affect AEW? Tony Khan said outright, I'm open. I'm open to conversations. If the deal is good, the deal is right for AEW, because he had a contract with TNT. He could have said, no, fuck you guys. We signed a contract. But of course, you don't want to say that to the network, because then they're going to say, no, fuck you guys when it comes time to renew. So you got to work with them a little bit. And really, this is a great deal for everybody. Is TBS perceived as a lesser station? Yes. So for AEW haters, is this going to make them perceive this as a demotion for AEW? Yes. Is AEW losing anything at all in this deal? No. They're gaining money. They're gaining exposure in more households. And they're gaining an additional show. So I would say it all kind of worked out for AEW, and people are just reading into this the way that they want to spin the narrative how they want to. But those, my friends, are the facts as they stand today. Of course, the TV media market is rapidly changing, and there are some things going on right now behind the scenes in the TV world that can still affect AEW in the future. Tony Khan kind of hinted at this, that the industry's shaking up, but he's in a fortunate position, he said, to be one of the top, they're one of the top draws on Time Warner TV. Warner Media is up for sale, as a matter of fact, but I wanted to throw that out there because this is an ever-changing environment, and it kind of makes my dick hard, to be honest with you, just digging into all of these mergers and buyouts and reformations and stuff. The streaming, the TV industry, all of it just gets my cock hard. So thought I'd share it with you. And of course, AEW, congrats to them on their new deal, despite what all the haters will tell you.
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.